start. Och sen kommer det vara att några har typ, jag vet inte, det kan vara lite svårt ibland för dem att connecta. Att det hörs, men jag hoppas att, jag vet inte riktigt varför det är så. Det var så på eventet med, det var någon som bara, vi hör ingen, men så var det någon som bara, jo, vi hör visst.
Ja, det så var det på mitt förra webbinar också.
Ja.
Att det var någon som klagade på att det inte hördes, men det hördes ifall andra.
Exakt, så du är på deras änd. Då blir man ju lite stressad. Liksom.
Ja.
10 sekunder, nu mutar jag mig.
Yes.
Hej då.
Hej då. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I see that we are still getting some people into the webinar, so I'm gonna wait a minute or so for everyone to come in. Yes. Yeah, I think we can start. We have quite a lot of attendees, which is great. And so hi and welcome to today's webinar, the 5 keys to successful content marketing, a webinar for tech CMOs. And to start off this webinar today, we will be focusing on content marketing, 5 keys to improve your content marketing with both strategic insights as well as like concrete hands-on tips. We will be having the webinar for about 35 minutes, and I also have my dear colleague Cecilia here to handle all the questions that will hopefully come in.
Yes, hello, thank you, Jacob. Yeah, so hopefully we get a lot of questions and interaction in the chat. Otherwise, my job today here will be unnecessary.
Yeah, so try to come up with some questions, and I will try to come up with some answers. And this webinar is for B2B marketeers in IT and tech, and more specifically, perhaps for CMOs. My name is Jacob Hamar, and I work as a team manager for one of our inbound/digital teams here at Bright Vision. And I've been doing a lot of campaigns and projects that include like content creation and content marketing, which is a lot of what we do here at Bright Vision. So I'm the one who will take you through this journey and take you through the 5 keys of successful content marketing. Before we go into the webinar, I'd like to ask you a question. So I would love to know what your expectations are for this webinar and what you hope to get out of it and what you want to learn, and hopefully I can achieve that. So yeah, please feel free to reply in the chat window.
Yeah, great. So you can see the chat panel on your right side. So there's both a chat and a Q&A, and it's entirely up to you if you want to put your questions or comments in the Q&A or in the chat. But we have from Ang, we have that She's expecting to get concrete advices on how to think when creating good content. Great. Is that something that you can deliver, Jacob?
I I hope to do that. I definitely hope I will. Um, and yeah, we do we have another one?
Yeah, it's coming in here. Natalie wonders what or want to hear what tone to adopt when talking to tech people. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And how content can help leads progressing in the funnel. That's something Monica is looking for. And then we have from Anders how to use multiple channels to increase response.
Yeah. And that ties together with my presentation quite well. So I hope that you will get some answers to these questions and that I can live up to your expectations. And yeah, throughout the webinar, feel free to type in the chat whenever, and Cecilia will tell me if anything comes in. And I hope I can answer it right away.
Yeah, and one thing before you start is that Camilla is looking to learn how to use content to increase brand awareness and trial signups. And Eshan is expecting to get good advice in terms of setting strategy and making engaging content. So I think, yeah, thanks for all your responses. I think you're ready to get started, Jacob.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so before we deep dive into the different keys, I just want to give a brief presentation for those of you who are new to us at Bright Vision. So we at Bright Vision, we are a full-service marketing agency. We do both inbound and outbound marketing, all kinds of projects and campaigns. And we are exclusive to the B2B tech industry. So, and we have been focusing on this industry for the 20 years that we've been around. And we focus on result-driven marketing. So what we do, regardless of what we do, we always have like the bottom line and ROI at the end of the day in mind. And here you can see some of our clients that we work with on a continuous basis. And there's a whole lot more. Regarding our services, of course, content marketing is one pillar that we stand on. And that is, of course, its own part of the larger method of inbound marketing, or that inbound approach to marketing. But we also do a lot of other stuff. We do paid media, marketing automation, web development, telemarketing, partner marketing, sales enablement, long-term strategy, and ABN. So pretty much anything when it comes to marketing within the B2B tech area. But that's us. And you can, of course, reach out to me if you want to learn more about that. But I think we all want me to deep dive into the topic of the webinar today. So let's go. The first key to successful content marketing is to write to the right person in the right buying phase, and really regardless of content format, either if it's video or interactive content, or if it's written content like ebooks or blog posts. It's important to have both the right person in mind to know who you are speaking to, and the buying phase that you want your content to target. So what's a necessity when it comes to content marketing is to have a buyer persona, one or multiple, depending on your business, of course. And the buyer persona, I guess that most of us here knows what a buyer persona is. And it is this semi-fictional characterization of your ideal buyer. And some important aspects to cover when creating a buyer persona is their current situation, objection to buy, what they want, what their main pains are in their role today, their challenges that they face, and of course, what different kinds of solution can address those problems. And hopefully, your product or solution or service can be one of those. But what's also important, especially when it comes to content marketing and inbound marketing, because buyer personas can of course be used in sales dialogues as well. But when it comes to the marketing side, we also want to include the buyer's journey, or we want to add that dimension to the buyer persona. And that's about segmenting the buyer's journey. We do it in three phases: awareness, consideration, and decision. And all buyers and all everyone in our target audience and each and every one of our buyer personas are in some phase of the buyer's journey. So it's important to map out where they are, and that is pretty much how much they know about you, your solution, the problem that your solution or service helps to solve. And we use content as a way of educating the buyer persona in order for the buyer persona to be driven through the buyer's journey or buyer's journey funnel. And how to do it is a question that I often get. And there's no one and single answer to that. I would say that, yeah, a couple of methods to do it is interviewing. That's always great to talk both to your existing clients, like the buyer persona, at existing accounts, as well as talking to accounts or buyer personas at accounts that aren't a client of yours yet. And then you can get a more in-depth knowledge of their actual situation. And the more you talk to a real version of the buyer persona, the more information we get and the more tailored in our messaging we can be. But of course, this is a question about resources and bandwidth, so you might not have time to interview or conduct a lot of interviews. So educated guesses and looking at the data, looking at the insights from and your experience as a company and as your and in your role, educated guesses can take you a long way. The most important thing is to actually think about this. Yeah, so the buyer's journey, when it comes to content, there are different ways to target, or you need to adapt the content messaging and the content itself to the different phases. So in the awareness phase, I would focus on identifying the problem, help the buyer persona to understand that he or she actually has a challenge that can be overcome in some way, but they might not even know that they have a problem. Perhaps one example can be that they don't know that their, I don't know, system of any kind is bad because they don't know how any other system or other ways of solving the problem actually works. So we need to identify that for them. And in consideration, we talk about, or we explain that there are different ways of solving this problem, and it can be hiring people, it can be bringing in a consultant for a limited period of time. It can be investing in a new solution or improving the one you have, like explaining how they can solve the problem. And in decision phase, we want to address the question, who should help me with this problem? And the different phases demands different types of messaging in your content. So here we have some examples of how content marketing in the awareness phase can look like. We want to be problem-centric in our content, and build awareness of you, your solution, and the problem that they face. But the most important thing is to help the buyer persona to identify the problem. And some content formats do better than others in this phase, or are a better fit than others. So videos, blog posts, and infographics, like easy to digest content like that. And how to attract them. People in the awareness phase can be to optimize for SEO through blog posts and written content on page. And it can also include like paid promotion in media channels. In consideration phase, we are a bit more solution-centric. Good types of content is ebooks, white papers, marketing surveys, quizzes, or other interactive content, blog posts, or pillar pages. And how to attract those, that phase of the buyer's journey is to use landing pages that require some contact information to access your content, like actually gated content. And every form submission should trigger an automated email workflow with additional content in order to drive the buyer persona further down the buyer's journey. And in decision, as I mentioned, we're a bit more product-centric. We talk about why they should choose your solution instead of others. Webinars, case studies, FAQ articles can be great. Comparison charts, if your solution allows for it. And a good thing to do here, because this is usually like contacts in your database, or hopefully, then you can have landing pages that adapt to the fact that you have some information about the leads or the buyer persona, and you set up different types of forms. So you ask for additional information about the buyer persona. That is a more technical aspect of it, and it's set up in the marketing automation system. But getting that, like for each and every touch point, we want to get more and more information about the lead, and in order for us to sales qualify it. And on the note regarding hands-on advice on how to think about your content and different buyers for buyer personas and in the different phases of the buyer's journey, I can recommend to draw up a content matrix like this. You can do that for each and every product that you have, perhaps, or for each and every industry. So in the first one here to the left, we see that, for buyer persona 1, perhaps a CIO, we have awareness content, it's a video, and it's an infographic. For buyer persona 2, that can be the CFO, we have an ebook in the consideration phase. And for buyer persona 3, perhaps a user of your solution, I don't know, an infrastructure architect, we have a blog post in consideration phase, and we have an ROI calculator. Okay, ROI calculator is a bit more tailored to the financial aspects, of course, but you get the idea of breaking down and mapping the content that you do have, because that highlights what you need to create as well, like what holes in your content library that you have. Key number 2, this is especially important in the industry that we're working in the tech industry, where the things we want to sell can be quite hard to understand. They can be very technically advanced, and the benefits of your solution versus a competitor's we might need to go into quite some technical detail. So it's important when you write copy, write text in general, to make sure that person who's writing have the understanding of the technical aspects of your solution. And not only the technical understanding, but the competency of conveying a complex message for a specific target group. So the person who's writing needs to understand how product benefits perhaps can be presented in a way that will interest a CFO, for example. And that sort of twist of your actual solution benefits isn't that easy, but it's important that the copywriter at least understands what your solution is good for and why it's better than others. And there's no real way around this. So if you have a copywriter in-house, for example, what we usually see at our clients is that either you have a very skilled copywriter that's writing your content, but that copywriter might not have the technical knowledge, or you have a technical expert, like a product manager, but he or she isn't really a good copywriter. So you need to educate the person in either copywriting or the tech part of things, because that makes everything a whole lot easier. And there's real risks of not doing this, or of not having a technically skilled copywriter. For example, if you provide some sort of IT solution, and the IT manager at IKEA reads your blog post and thinks either that you can't spell or create a good text, or even worse, the IT manager at IKEA thinks that you don't know enough about IT, or that person sees through the text and understand that you don't really have the full grasp of this problem or solution, and that will hurt your image. And the hard thing is that you don't really know if your texts hurt your image, because we don't get any. The hurting is that people don't convert and don't make contact with you and don't download your content again. So it's hard to measure the damage, but I think we all understand that there's real risks of this. And key number 3, repurposing content. And that's something that we work a lot with, and it's all about making the most value out of your content, because creating good content takes time, and it takes indirectly or directly money to create content. So it's all about getting most value out of that investment. So I can or my perspective on this is that it's always worth it to spend time on creating great original content, but for it to be worth it, you need to repurpose it and you need to make the most out of it. If you write an ebook that you might interview a couple of customers, you might interview your technical experts, the information alone from those interviews, I'm sure can be used for other things. And repurposing, both turning 4 blog posts into one downloadable content piece, like an ebook, that's one way to repurpose and make more out of those blog posts than you would have otherwise. And you can create a lot of content, so different formats, small changes of angles, and it's all about spending time on a big rock content that can be chopped up into smaller pieces, so to speak. And good examples of that, of course, is an ebook, because the research that the person is writing the ebook does, that the information can be used for other things. So if you're writing a white paper on the benefits of solution X, I'm sure that you will stumble upon in your research other angles and other ways of writing about this. Another example of good original content is conducting marketing surveys. Might not be easy to do on your own, but we have done that a lot, and basically interviewing a lot of people, perhaps IT managers, and their view on working from home in Corona times. That like survey can be turned into one big report. We can create smaller pieces of content from the interviews alone, because you will get the insights and the data that can back up, for example, a blog post or host a webinar discussing this new report that you're creating. Creating a more illustrated infographic presenting all the results, producing a lot of social media posts highlighting different key insights from the marketing survey, for example, or having a video, I don't know, interviewing a thought leader in your industry and discussing the marketing survey with that person. So that's how you can make the most out of the investment of creating content once. And key number 4, promote your content in the right channels. And here we get into what happens after the production of the content. So, of course, a part of content marketing is the actual marketing, and that includes paid promotion. And just to send you off with some tips and hands-on advice, here are 6 success factors that we see from our experience when it comes to advertising for content. And on an ad level or like post level, regardless if it's email marketing, if it's organic social media really, or if it's paid promotion, either in social media or other marketing advertising channels, it's important to keep your message short and sweet. Of course, have a visual appealing design. Being strategic when it comes to the ad format that you're choosing. Some ad formats are good for one purpose and bad for another, and so on. And make sure to optimize your advertising. Don't just send off a couple of ads and let them run for a month or so. Continuously check in on your metrics. Take action to make sure that the metrics improve over time, because advertising itself is all about having a good starting point and making the results better and better throughout the promotion period. And yeah, as in parenthesis there, make sure to measure the conversions, not only the metrics on an ad level, but also what happens with the traffic that we drive to a landing page, for example, how many of the visitors actually convert through form submission. Important to choosing the right target audience, and that's also a way to optimize your campaign, of course. Choosing a good starting point when it comes to target audience, a lot of educated guesses oftentimes, and then you can, in most media channels, you can have a breakdown of your audience and see what segment of your target audience that engages the most with the ads and what segment that don't engage with your ads. And of course, leveraging retargeting possibilities. That's also a key thing to have in mind. And this is not, I hope that you already think about this, but it's important to revisit this. Like every time you launch something, either if it's through to the right here, email marketing, pushing things on your website, using paid media or organic social media, it's important to choose the channel that fits your purpose the best. So if it's impressions, then you have different channels that's better for that purpose, and you have different ad formats in those channels that suits better. And here are different or a list of different purposes that your promotion can have. If it's impressions only, or if the most important thing is that people click and land on a landing page, or if it's watching a video or downloading content, or if it's an always on thing. There are a lot of different purposes for your marketing campaigns, of course, but have that in mind when choosing your channels. And don't go with the same old thing that you did the last 5 years. Be creative and be willing to try out, because we don't know if something doesn't work unless we try it. So that's important to have in mind. And lastly, have a good marketing automation system. Marketing automation makes your content marketing efforts run like a well-oiled machine and enables you to speak to your audience with content that is relevant to them. And this is also on the same note that I spoke about earlier, like making the most out of your content, because marketing automation is like the engine in the background that ties all your marketing efforts together, both lead management as well as distributing content. And if you're serious about your content marketing and you work with content marketing automation should be a part of that work as well. And not to be, I don't want to be too like high level. So actual examples of marketing automation systems are HubSpot and SharpSpring. HubSpot is perhaps the more well-known brand of the two, but both, what comes next here on the next couple of slides, are applicable for both of these systems. And there's a whole lot of other systems like Pardot, Eloqua, Marketo, and leveraging the features and functionality of marketing automation tools like that is key to both converting leads as well as making the most out of your content. And here's 3 ways content marketing and marketing automation go hand in hand. First, stay top of mind across channels. You can use your most marketing or most good marketing automation systems spans across both social media, email, website, and both organic social media as well as paid promotion on social media. And the marketing automation can be that hub that collecting all your touch points with your leads across multiple channels, so you get all the insights from various channels. And secondly, it's important to deliver the relevant content to every buyer. As we spoke about earlier, you can have several buyer personas. You can have, and you can also divide the buyer's journey in different phases. Marketing automation allows you to deliver the right content to the right person. A lot of marketing automation tools, and SharpSpring and HubSpot are examples of those. They have support for buyer personas, so you can categorize all your contacts in your database in different buyer personas, and that makes it easier. And when you add like more advanced workflows, automated workflows to that, you can deliver the right content to each and every buyer persona. And marketing automation also allows you to A and B test, streamline your database and giving updates in real time, retargeting, and of course web personalization. Personalization of web and email and ads like that has increased the last years, and it will continue to be more and more important. So yeah, use marketing automation systems for that. And third, as marketing automation tools like HubSpot and SharpSpring covers a lot of different channels, you can also gather all the data and the insights from your campaigns in one tool. And when integrating a marketing automation platform with your CRM system, then you can also, that allows for even more measuring, and you can, when everything is set up, you can pretty much measure on how much money you need to spend on ads or how many emails you need to send out to your contact database in order to make a sale. And that will make both your marketing as well as their sales a whole lot more efficient. Yeah, that's also a good insight, like demonstrate how your content influences buyer behavior, because the attribution issue is like, where does a lead come from? That's always a hard thing to measure, but gathering all the insights in one system, like a marketing automation system, that allows you to see, okay, what touch points did this person have? How many pieces of content did that person, before they made contact, take part of? And those are important insights, again, to both your marketing and your sales organization. And marketing automation is the secret weapon, making sure that all the hard work you put into each piece of content doesn't go to waste. So marketing automation is a necessity, I would say. And that's all the keys for today. But before we leave, I just want to highlight some key takeaways that I hope you can take with you. And first of all, extensive and detailed buyer personas are key. The more insight and the more we know about the buyer persona that we want to target with our content, the better content we will be able to create. And copywriters need to have industry-specific knowledge and the technical knowledge of your product. There's no way around it, unfortunately. And content can be repurposed, and there's no real limit to how you can repurpose your content. You can be as creative as you want to, but one piece of content can definitely be turned into more. And choose channels wisely. Don't do what you've always done. Don't just launch on Facebook because they have a good user interface for advertising, or some not so well thought of reason as that. So yeah, match your purpose and your channels. And lastly, marketing automation is an important part of content marketing, and that's just what it is. Marketing automation has increased in importance, and the software and the tools have been more and more advanced, and they get cheaper and cheaper, so more and more companies use them. So it's really something that all companies need to start working with, if you want to work with content marketing. Yeah, and this is the last slide for me. Cecilia, do you have any? Has there been any questions?
Yeah, we have some questions here, but feel free to just type them in the chat. Take this opportunity to ask our content expert here. But one question is if this presentation will be recorded and sent out, and the answer is yes. It will be sent out either this afternoon or tomorrow morning. So everyone who's registered will get the link. And then let's see here. Eva Lotta say thank you for a great webinar. And then we have Anne who has two questions. The first is, what's your best advice on nurturing cold leads into SQLs? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a very good question. And my advice would be to, if I can jump back to my presentation here.
Yes.
Look at the buyer's journey. Think about your buyer personas. Think of when you're saying cold leads, that's of course something you have to define what a cold lead is, but understand where in the buyer's journey the person is, and make sure that you have content for that phase of the buyer's journey, as well as understanding what buyer persona that person is. So I would say that my best advice would be to categorize your cold leads into, the more narrow the better, but at least like what buyer persona and what phase of the buyer's journey, and making sure that you have content and you deliver content in the right phase for them. And if you don't have content for the right person in the right phase of the buyer's journey, make sure to create that.
Great answer. Totally agree. And then the second question is, what's the most common mistake you see tech marketers do when it comes to creating content?
There's some common mistakes that you see. I would say that, we can be on this slide for this answer as well. I would say that the biggest mistake is, first, they don't have any clear buyer personas. They might have created one a couple of years ago that sales use today to some extent, but it's never used in marketing, for example. And as a result of that, like the content that's produced is being produced in an ad hoc manner, and a lot of the times it's in decision phase of the buyer's journey, and I can understand that you want to create decision stage content to that part or segment of your target audience, but so nothing wrong with that. The wrong is to not create awareness and consideration stage content, because most people in your target audience are not in the decision phase. So I think that would be my answer.
Yeah, great, Jacob. I totally agree on that one as well. It doesn't look like we had any more questions, but both Parasto and Karin is thank you for a very good webinar, and so do I. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or want to know more about content marketing and potentially how we at Bright Vision can help you guys. But good. And the webinar recording will be sent out.
Perfect. Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah, have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.